Appeal denied!
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't...
that's it. Now get the hell out of my office.
Well, exactly. That's basically what NASCAR's appeals panel said to Rick Hendrick, Chad Knaus, and the assembled members of the 48 team. Unanimous decision. They upheld all the original sanctions, all the original penalties stemming from Daytona.
Are you surprised? I'm not very surprised at this.
I'm not very surprised either, and I can't believe that Rick Hendrick was surprised.
Well, obviously, Rick Hendrick has said now he's going to appeal again. There's
right.
one more appeal that you can make.
To John Middlebrook, who's the chief appellate officer.
That's right, and he believes that he was wronged and the team was wronged. But I think what's clearly come out, if you listen to what his statement was, and you listen to what Chad Knaus said at Phoenix, and what NASCAR has said, there's a judgment call element to this. It's not black and white. And because it's a judgment call, it's hard for me to see them presenting any evidence now that's going to change the mind of the commission or the commissioner.
Well, right. But remember, John Middlebrook, who is sort of the last chance here. He's the guy they're going to appeal to directly. His decisions are binding. Remember, he did uphold Clint Boyer's penalty, but he also reduced Shane Wilson's suspension from 6 races to 4 and reduced the fine from $150,000 to $100,000 for that particular incident. So,
it's the points. That's what we're talking about here. The points. That's what matters. It's the points. Yes, if you could get Chad back for a couple races sooner, that would be helpful. I just don't see vindication for Hendrick Motorsports overturning the whole thing. You guys were right. NASCAR actually approved the part. That's just not going to happen.
I don't see that either, and I don't think the points are a big deal. We've already seen how far Jimmy has come in erasing that deficit.
So it really doesn't matter anyway?
He's got a long way to go. In some ways, I think the absence of Chad Knaus for 4 to 6 races is more of a big deal to the 48 team.
Why do you think that?
Well, just because I think having somebody other than Chad atop the pit box for Jimmy, I mean, Chad and Jimmy have such a strong relationship.
But the reason why he wants Chad is for what? To regain those points. Otherwise, Chad could take 6 weeks off and they could be ready for the chase. Right?
Well, and I think that could happen. I think that is within the realm of reality.
Yeah.
I think if Chad Knaus took 6 weeks, they could still make the chase. I want to bring up one other issue because I don't know if you saw Kyle Petty on the broadcast on Sunday from Las Vegas. He went off on this process. Here are the people who heard this appeal. John Caples, USAC chairman, Leo Meal, former directing of Racing Goodyear, and Dale Pinellis, who runs Bowman Gray. Are these guys the right guys to be hearing this appeal? Or
of course they are.
Why?
Because they're the guys.
Okay.
How can you question these guys?
Because they're not part and part. They're not within the garage on a daily basis. They don't see the process. They don't see what's going on. They're not technical guys.
There's a couple ways to look at it. Number one is, if you're in the garage on a daily basis, then you've got some kind of incentive. Somewhere, somehow, you've got an interest. And you have to have people hearing this that don't have a vested interest in what's going on. So, you know, you combine, you want someone who has knowledge, but you want someone who doesn't have a vested interest. That's tough. I mean, that's a tough position to fill. So I don't question the panel's makeup myself.
Did they use a nice foundation and then a little blush?
I hope so.
All right, that's Bassmasters. I'm Buzz Cutler, and that's the word on Hendrick's unsuccessful appeal of the 48 teams' penalties.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.